Are you in business or busyness? Welcome to Standing on Business with Dr. Melissa, the Purpose Profitess. This is a bold, unfiltered journey for entrepreneurs, visionaries, and purpose-driven go-getters who are ready to stop performing and start becoming. Each week, I take you beyond the hustle and into the heart with soul-stirring truths, powerful strategies, and real conversations that uncover what it means to be the CEO of your own life. So, if you're done chasing paper and ready to activate purpose, tune in, tap in, and take your place at the table. This is Standing on Business. And this time, it's personal. Well, hello there, soulmates. It's your girl, Dr. Melissa, back with another soul-stirring episode of Standing on Business, where it's not just business, it's personal. So today, y'all, I'm going to see what kind of audience I have, because if y'all are the judgy type, if you're the type that don't believe in helping a sister adjust her crown, you're going to laugh at me. But if you are like one of my soul sisters, my soul brothers, you're going to rock with me for a minute, because I'm going to introduce this whole topic today with song. And Dr. Melissa can't sing, but that's okay. Bag lady, you gon' hurt your back, dragging all them bags like that. Yes? So listen, you guys, today, I want to talk from the topic, it's in the bag. Now, I'm going to tell you, for those of you that did not recognize that song, shame on you. It's one of the greats. This is a song by Miss Erykah Badu. And whether she knew it or not, she wrote a whole sermon and basically just put a beat to it. Because if you listen to the words of that song, bag lady, you gonna hurt your back, dragging all them bags like that. Then there's another stanza where she said, bag lady, you gonna miss your bus. You can't hurry up because you got too much stuff. Y'all, I could just go home now. I could just actually say, thank you so much for joining me for Standing on Business with Dr. Melissa, right? I want us to talk about the topic of it's in the bag, because I want you to hear this. This bag lady that she's talking about, y'all, this is not about shopping. This is about the baggage of identity. And you know, we've been talking about identity this entire time. And I'm going to tell you, I have a sneaky suspicion that if you listen to me 5 years from now, I'm going to be talking about identity. Because I really do believe that that is foundational for all of the things that we're trying to do, and all of the things that we're trying to have, and all of the things that we're trying to be. So, in this song, when she's talking about baggage, we're talking about what you're dragging. And I want you to sit with that for just a second. What are you dragging along in life? What are you dragging that's so heavy that you might miss your bus? What are you dragging that's going to hurt your back, right? And today what I'm going to do is take that one layer deeper, because this discussion is not just about the stuff that's in your bag, the things that make the bag so heavy. This discussion is about when the bag becomes your identity. Because here's the truth. The world we live in, the bag is not just a bag. The bag is actually a signal. Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit, okay? This bag that we talk about, if you remember in the song, and if you've never heard the song, do listen to the song. It's deep on a level that it blows the mind when you really get what the concept is. In the song, she talks about the Gucci bag lady, and she talks about the paper bag lady, And she talks about the book bag lady. And she talks about the nickel bag lady. Hello, where y'all at? I see you. You know what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about pocket change. She talks about the booty bag lady, right? She unpacks all of these different kinds of bag ladies. And when we really unpack this and think about it, we're really talking about the bag being a symbol, the bag being a story, the bag being a shortcut. You see, the Gucci bag lady walks into a room and the world automatically decides, she's polished. She's successful. Y'all, she's good. Did you see her with the Gucci bag? With the Hermes bag? With the Birkin bag? Oh, she's good. The Gucci bag lady, she's unbothered. She's got it all together. And the world makes these assumptions simply based on the bag, not what's in the bag. They saw the Gucci bag and they said, she's all good. The book bag lady walks in the room and the world decides, she's very smart. She's capable. She's qualified. She's credible. All based on the bag. Nobody said a word to her and she didn't say a word to them. But that bag has become her identity. The brown bag lady walks in and the world says, ooh, she's struggling. Oh my goodness. She's broken. Oh, that baby needs help. Look, oh my goodness, she needs help. All based on her brown bag, her crumpled, ruffled, maybe greasy, dirty brown bag. Here's the danger in all of that, though. When the world starts to label you by your bag, you start to believe it and you start to live as your bag. Because, listen, y'all, if we lined each of those ladies up, the Gucci bag lady, the book bag lady, the brown bag lady, maybe the smartest person in that equation is the brown bag lady. But we wouldn't know that because the world has made an assumption based on the bag. And the world has now identified us as that bag. That's not the most tragic part of this story. The tragedy of the story is that we then become enslaved to maintaining the identity that they assigned you based on the bag you had in your hand or on your arm or on your back. What does this look like in real life? Your resume, your title, your Instagram profile, your Instagram feed, your role in life. And here's the real question. Sis, who are you when you set the bag down? Who are you when that brand can't speak for you? Who are you when the title doesn't match what's really inside? When the bag, the Gucci bag, actually has rocks in it, but the brown bag has gold in it. Like, who are you? Who are you when you're not being defined by this external packaging? Because what I want you to understand is that your purpose is not found in what you carry. Your purpose is found in who you are when nobody is looking at the bag. And don't y'all get it twisted. Dr. Melissa I love a nice handbag. I love a nice handbag. It might be one of my small guilty obsessions. Some people like to fly all over the world. I don't. But I do like a nice bag. Leather, longevity. I have bags that are older than my children. I have leather bags older than 35 years old. So it's also quality, but I'm not speaking against any of those things. What I am throwing out and what I want us to sit with and unpack is who are you when you don't have the bag? Like if I need to have the Louis Vuitton bag, the Chanel bag to be Dr. Melissa, and my identity is attached to that, where does purpose fall? And what happens when the bag is not available? And what happens if, God forbid, the economy crashes and something happens and you no longer have that? So today we're going to talk about how do you stop living as the bag, right? And start living from what's inside. Hence the topic, it's in the bag. Okay? All right. So for those of you who have been rocking with me for a while, this story will sound familiar, but it certainly fits with this discussion. I need to tell you about the time when I realized that a bag can actually become bondage, figuratively. Um, you guys, there's a version of making it that might look like freedom on the outside, but it feels like a cage on the inside. A cage that looks like a corner office with ceiling to floor windows and a 270-degree view with an executive desk with degrees all on the walls, right? Leather seats, beautiful, beautiful. All of the accoutrements of success, visibility, respect, right? And, and everyone's looking at you saying, whoo, girl, you made it. It's a long way from the dirt road. But inside, you feel trapped. It's beautiful externally, but you feel trapped inside. Why? For me, I was feeling trapped because I wasn't just at this point building a life. I felt enslaved to maintain an image. And the problem with images is that they require constant lighting, constant angles, constant control. You see, I was trying to maintain the persona of somebody strong, of somebody who had it all figured out. When I say image for me, I've never been a pretentious person. So I was never that person that walked in a room and wanted everybody to know that I was the CEO. The truth of the matter is, for many, many years, I would be sitting right alongside clients and they wouldn't have a clue as to who I was. And that's exactly how I wanted it. So, and I think that came from just my country upbringing. I wasn't the person I didn't want that kind of attention. But what I did want is to look like I had it together. And I did want to look like I had it figured out. And I did want to look like I didn't need anybody. I didn't need any help. I'm the helper. I am the fixer. You see, when you're the Gucci bag lady, people don't extend you the same kind of grace as they would the paper bag lady. When you're the Gucci bag lady, and a lot of my women that follow me, and 99.9% of the women that I work with are high functioning women. When I say high functioning, executive level women, I'm not just talking about in business, although many of them are high figure earners. But I'm talking about executive, high functioning women because you're holding it down for your family. You are the person everybody comes to in your church, in your community, in your family. This is not about money. This is about the roles and status of being the go-to person. And most of the people that are attracted to me and to what I do are the go-to people. They are the servers. They are the people that other people come to. You're a Gucci bag lady. You're a Gucci bag dude, if that's you. And what happens is we don't get the same grace. People don't ask, are you okay? Not when you're the Gucci bag lady. They ask, what do you have to be upset about? Girl, what? Problems? You don't have any problems? Really? Let me tell you about some problems. You don't get the same grace. When you're the book bag lady, people don't say, ooh, that's heavy. When you tell a story or you share a challenge, they say, girl, you're smart. You'll figure it out. Child, I know you're going to be okay, child. You smart as a whip. I ain't even worried about you. And without even realizing it, your bag then becomes a contract. Your bag becomes a performance agreement. Your bag becomes an unspoken expectation. Here's what it says: stay impressive, stay composed, stay unbothered, stay capable, stay winning. And here's the thing: when you're a Gucci bag lady, when you're a book bag lady, when you are a go-to person, quietly you realize that if you ever really told them the truth about what's inside the bag, you risk losing access to the place. Where are my high functioning executive women who are sitting in the boardroom and you're trying to hold your seat? And you're afraid that if they know that I'm really vulnerable, if they know that I'm really not sure, I might lose my seat at the table. So you don't dare show them what's inside the bag because you risk losing access. You might risk losing respect. What would happen if you said to your family members or community members or church members, hey y'all, I don't know. I'm a little afraid. I'm a little doubtful right now. My goodness, you might lose their respect because they know you as the person who has it all figured out. If you showed them what was really inside the bag, you might risk losing belonging. You don't fit in anymore. You don't fit into the club anymore because what's inside the bag doesn't match their external expectations of what it should be. So what do? Honey, we keep smiling. We keep delivering. We keep achieving. We keep checking those boxes. And we keep dragging that bag, trying to make it to our bus. You're not dragging the bag because you love it. You're dragging the bag because you don't know who you'll be without it. And this is where identity gets distorted. Because instead of becoming who you were called to be, you become who the bag says you are. And soulmates, that's what begins the whole process of external branding. We talk a lot about branding, especially in this whole social media universe. And I work with people on branding. That's something that I talk to people about. But when the branding is external, what people see and not who you are, the image you want them to see. You want them to see this and walk away with this. And some people will tell you, I have worked with experts and they say, what do you want people to feel when they see your brand? Like when they go to your content, what do you want them to feel? It's not that it's not a valid question. But if what I want them to feel is not genuine to who I truly am, then I'm creating an experience, much like an actress would show up and say, okay, today this is my character. It's not really me, but this is what I want you to feel when you see this. So I cry on cue and people feel sympathy and sad, and but it's not real. It's like looking at somebody and they're driving off in a Bentley and all of that, and it's rented. Because they want you to feel this prestige based on something external, instead of just understanding that the prestige comes from me. I'll tell you, I like nice things. This is, y'all, I'm not arrogant, but this is how I think. I feel like I up the value of the brand when I wear it. I'm like, ooh, Gucci should be happy that somebody call Gucci and tell Gucci that Dr. Melissa is carrying their bag today. The brand will never make me, ever. I make the brand. The brand is lucky that I selected it because I'm so clear about who I am, right? So when you start doing external branding, it turns into internal bondage. And some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Come on, raise your hands. It's okay. Listen, no judgment. I told you guys a couple weeks ago, this is the mantra that I learned from a mentor. I have nothing to defend. I have nothing to protect. And I have nothing to prove. So in this season of our lives, we're not going to be tethered by, our truths. We're not. We're not going to remain in this bondage of what we should be and what people say we should do. Here's what I know. You're tired, but you're not tired because you're doing too much. You're tired because you're maintaining a persona, and that's work. Bag lady, you gon' hurt your back. Dragging all them bags like that. It's work. Work. You're not stressed, sis, because the work is hard. You're stressed because your identity is fragile and you haven't built an identity firm and strong enough to hold the calling. I'll say it a million times. You have a teacup capacity, but your calling is pitcher size. You haven't built the capacity to hold the pitcher amount of calling, of blessings, of abundance. Because you're coming through life with a teacup saying, give me a pitcher. So that's stressful. You're worried that if the world found out what's really inside, they might treat you differently. And you have been living to prevent that moment. Some of us have been living for decades. This is bigger than just a mask. Because at least with a mask, when I come home, I can take it off and be like, whew, okay, this is really me. But when we start living as the bag, as the identity, it's 24/7. We become hidden from ourselves. That is the Gucci bag danger. That is the book bag trap. And I'm going to throw in that's also a bit of the trap for the paper bag. Why? Because some of us become so committed and addicted to the brokenness. We've started to identify ourselves by our traumas, by the things that happened to us. We feel used, abused, crumpled, tossed away, unworthy, unvaluable. And so just like the Gucci bag lady is committed to this thing of I have it all together, sometimes you can be so committed to I'm worthless and there's nothing good in me. And honey, let me tell you all the things that happened to me. And child, there's nothing I can do. I'm not able to. I'm not able to do that. If you knew where I come from, and we become so identified by the bag that we don't even realize inside of it is gold. It always was, right? We become trapped by these bags. So I really like it, the part where the song says you're going to miss your bus because here's how critical it is. You might say, well, yeah, it's hurting my back, but I'm okay. Girl, these bags been hurting my back for years. I go home, put some Bengay on and keep it moving. Okay. But now the other stanza of that song said, you're going to miss your bus. Meaning, you're going to miss your next season. You're going to miss your opportunities. You're going to miss the things that you've been praying for, asking for. You're going to miss your legacy because you simply couldn't put down what kept you in bondage, what kept you acceptable to other people. So let me ask you, I know it's heavy. Let me ask you something that might just hit you right in the chest. And I promise you, I don't mean to hit you that hard. What bag are you carrying that has taught people how to interpret you? You. What bag? What's the name of your bag? Is it the title bag? I am Dr. So-and-so, so-and-so, CEO, CFO to the third degree, raised to the second power. Is it the degree bag? You've got more degrees than a thermometer. Is it the marriage bag? I'm married. Deep, yes. For me, 31 years. It was my bag. It was how I identified myself in every single thing I did in life. How many of y'all is it the money bag? You that sister with the commas and the zeros. And people are saying I should have that problem. But you become tethered. That's your bag. What happens in that situation is what happens if the money's gone? What happens if the ends don't meet anymore? Who are you then? For some of you, it's the spiritual bag. Come on now. I'm stepping all the way in. I'm going all the way in. For some of us, it's our faith, our spirituality. I'm sister so-and-so, missionary so-and-so, evangelist so-and-so of, Sweet Beulah to the Third Power Baptist. That's who I am. I can't have a conversation that doesn't sound like the 23rd Psalms. I can't talk without quoting the scripture. Y'all don't get it twisted. You won't find a woman more grounded in her faith. It's my everything. But I also understand I can actually have a conversation without quoting all 66 books of the Bible, because I don't hide behind my spirituality. Some of us, that's become our bag, not necessarily because you wanted to, but people see you as the one. So here's the thing: when you have that spiritual bag and then you get a scary diagnosis, you can't even say, I'm scared. You can't even say, I don't know what to do. Oh, you're faith. You're full of faith. No, you're not worried because you already know that you are healed. And I'm saying this, y'all, and I know I'm stepping on toes and I don't want to, but I have to, because I'm at the season of my life now where I'm just going to be obedient to the assignment on my life and, and let the chips fall where they may. It becomes a bag and an identity when you have become enslaved to it and you are in bondage to it. And so anything that you have to be disingenuous or inauthentic about, I am telling you, is problematic. If you're scared and you can't say you're scared. Back when we was young, we say, if you're scared, say you're scared. When you can't say I'm scared, how many of you is the strong bag? How many of you is the pretty bag? What happens when you get older? What happens when social norms of what's pretty changes? Y'all know it changes, right? At one time, your lips was too big, and then it was time you need to make your lips bigger. Like, it changes. I'm telling y'all, I've been on this earth 55 years. What has been beautiful? At one time, we were like shaving off our eyebrows to make them this thin. And then it was like, that was crazy. Now you needed to make them super thick. I just do me, because I'm telling you, one time they wanted you to have a matte face, look like it had absolutely no shine to it. Now everybody's shiny. It changes, right? So what identity are you maintaining? Not because it's true, but because people expect that from you. Because here's the thing, the scary thing about the bag is that it doesn't just communicate to the world. Y'all, the bag starts communicating to you. And it starts telling you who you are allowed to be. I talk about not asking for permission, but serving notice. But sometimes the permission that you've got to ask for and fight for the greatest is the permission within yourself. So let me give you 3 ways, 3 shifts that you need to make so that you can untether yourself from this identity that your bag has created. And the first one is, you need to expose the contract, the identity contract that your bag has created. Remember, I said it's like a performance agreement. Every bag creates an identity contract. What is that? A set of expectations that you didn't consciously sign up for, but you've been living under. Example, if you're the Gucci bag lady, I must look like I'm winning at all costs. If you're the book bag lady, I must always have the answer. I must always be the answer. If you're the corner office CEO lady, I must never show uncertainty, particularly for those that are women in a male-dominated field. We feel like we've got to make sure we don't look like we're uncertain. If you're the strong one, I don't get to need. I don't get to articulate the need for help at all. and my sister and my brother, each of these contracts have a hidden clause. And here's the hidden clause. You've signed up for this unconsciously. The hidden clause is, if I ever stop performing the terms of this contract, I might lose love, access, admiration, or belonging. So, what's the solution to this? You've got to, my mom used to say, put the skunk on the table. Country saying, but yes, put the skunk on the table. You've got to identify this contract out loud. You've got to be willing to say, hey, this is what this is. And then I want you to ask yourself, what do people assume about me because of this bag that I carry? What do they expect me to never reveal? What part of me have I buried to keep up this identity contract? The real me. See, when you expose the contract, you can stop being controlled by it. If this is hitting you anywhere, I want you to just pause and I want you to just comment. I'm done with signing silent contracts. Okay. Second shift is to separate your packaging from your calling and let the calling lead, right? Packaging is what people can recognize quickly. You know, that few seconds that they see you, oh, she's got a Gucci bag, oh, she's got a Birkin bag, oh, she drove up in a Porsche, oh, she's got a stethoscope and a white coat on, oh, she's got a briefcase, right? Boom. Packaging. People recognize that quickly. But calling is something that you were created to embody consistently. Packaging is external, and it's okay to have cute packaging. Calling is internal. Packaging is applause driven, approval driven. Calling is alignment driven. And here's the danger. When your packaging leads, your calling gets muted. It gets silenced. When your bag leads, your real assistant becomes the assistant. Your real self becomes the assistant. What I mean by that, you know, sometimes when people are in positions, even like in church, there'll be somebody called the armor bearer. Or for a celebrity, they'll have an executive assistant. And this is the person that carries their bags and make sure everything's good for them, make sure they're hydrated, all of that good stuff. Y'all, when you let your bag lead, your real self, becomes the assistant to the bag. So you start thinking like, what would they think? Instead of asking, what am I called to do? So here's a solution to that. I want you to create a private truth statement that can override the bag. And I want you to say this in your own voice. My title is what I do. It's not who I am. My success is evidence of skill, but it's not proof of my wholeness. I'm allowed to evolve beyond what the people applaud for. Because when you don't, you stay tethered to when they applaud. And when you try to do something that they don't applaud you for, you stop. Here's another one. I don't owe anyone a performance to deserve respect. I don't. And then I want you to take that a step further. I want you to then practice one act of alignment that contradicts the bag. Now, I'm not talking about self-sabotage. I'm talking about alignment. So let me give you an example. If part of your bag is that you have to know everything and you can't ask for help, I want you to be intentional about asking for help when you would normally pretend that you have competence in an area. Find an area where you know this is a weakness I lack. the skill set here. I don't have the competence that I pretend that I have. And then I want you to be intentional about challenging that bag by asking for help. Another example, tell the truth in a room where you would normally be polished. Y'all, I had to do that. I went to the Bahamas. I was a CEO. You know, I I cried in secret. If I didn't know something, I took care of that 3 o'clock in the morning, looking up at the ceiling, trying to figure it out. But I didn't dare say it in rooms that I was in because I realized that people around me needed me to have certainty. They didn't need me to be shaken. And I would say to people around me, it's not that the people around me wouldn't have wanted to help. I would say to them, you get nervous when I get nervous. If you don't see me nervous, we're good. Behind closed doors. So one of the things that I had to do, I was in a room with women I did not know. And I had to take off my proverbial cape for a moment and say, I don't know. And there are times when I'm super, super scared and I don't know if it's going to work out. So the bottom line is what you're trying to do is put your calling back as your compass again. Let your calling take the lead. Okay? Here's the final shift. And that is to rebuild your identity from the inside so that the bag becomes optional. Listen, soulmates, the goal is not to hate the bag. The goal is to make the bag optional, right? The Gucci bag is wonderful, but it's optional. I'm Dr. Melissa without it. Flat-footed, 3 in the morning, sleep in my eyes. Still that chick. When your identity is solid, the bag and all of the accoutrements that come with it becomes an accessory. Y'all, that's what it was always supposed to be. The bag was never supposed to be identity. It's an accessory. It's like these earrings. The earrings are not the ear. They do absolutely nothing in helping me to hear. They're accessory. They complement what's there. And that's what your bag is supposed to do. Your titles, your roles, your successes, your money. They're supposed to be an accessory, not an anchor, not a shield, not a passport, an accessory. So here's the solution to that. The way that you can build from the inside out, you can use 3 anchors that I'm going to give you today. First thing, first anchor, first truth is, what is true about me even when the bag disappears? Okay? Write that down so that you can mull that over. What is true about me even when the bag disappears, even when the money is gone? Second, and this is about values. What do I stand for when no one is clapping? What do I stand for when there's no applause? No one is clapping. There's no confetti. Third anchor, third truth. What am I here to embody, not just achieve? And this is really about the assignment on your life. What am I here to embody, not just achieve? Achievement is external. Embodiment is internal. And then when you ask yourself that question, I want you to filter it through this. If nobody could see my bag, how would I show up? Because my sister, my brother, that's identity. That's freedom. That's integrity. So let me talk to my Gucci bag people for a second. The one who looks like he or she is winning, but privately you feel like you're suffocating. I want you to know that you're not ungrateful. I want you to know that you're not dramatic. I want you to know that you're not doing the most. The problem might be that you're just living inside a glass box. And the reason why that hurts is because you were never meant to be admired more than you are known or seen. You were never meant to be impressive more than you are aligned. So if you've been feeling that tightness, that pressure, that I can't breathe in my own life sensation, sis, that's not weakness. Not weakness at all. That's just your real self trying to come forward. Like she's been treading water. That's just her trying to breathe. And I want you to know that I'm cheering for you. Because the moment that you stop letting the bag lead, your life can start moving forward again. So let's do a quick little activation before we leave. Ask yourself, what bag do I use to feel safe in rooms that intimidate me? Ask yourself, what identity do I perform because it gets rewarded? Ask yourself, what would I change if I let the inside, the real me lead, the calling lead? And here's your reframe. You don't need a new bag. You just need a true identity. Phew, honey, it's in the bag. Listen, if this discussion is exposing something for you, if you realize that you've been trapped behind packaging, I want you to know that's exactly the work that I do with people. Identity alignment. I work with people to break performance contracts, to become who they were called to be without needing permission. So, if this has resonated with you, please leave a comment with the bag that you are ready to stop performing. Leave it in the comments. And then if you want support, please DM me. And I tell people all the time, you can leave comments. Many people like to DM me. I read them all. So please do that. No pressure, just invitation. Okay, so let's close out with our mantra. I want you to say this with me. The bag is not my identity. It's just what I carry. Let's say that again. The bag is not my identity. It's an accessory. It's just something that I carry. Because, my sister, my brother, if it's just what you carry, you can set it down. You can change it. You can outgrow it. You can refuse to be defined by it. You can catch your bus. Because you're not the Gucci. You're not the brown paper bag. You're not the book bag. You're not the credentials. You're not the office. You're not the persona. You are who you are, even when the bag is gone. And that, soulmate, that's where your power lives. So, thank you so much for joining me for Standing on Business with Dr. Melissa. I hope today's discussion has ignited a fire within you to embrace your authenticity, prioritize your purpose, and become the CEO of your own life. And listen, you don't have to walk this out alone. Honey, I got a bunch of bag ladies in this community. It's in the space that I have built for women just like you. Women who are ready to move forward in faith, even when they're still figuring it out. And that space is called Women with Purpose, Power, and Profits. It's my free Facebook community where you're going to find strategy and encouragement. It's the place where women come to be sharpened, supported, and seen beyond their bags. Inside, we talk about purpose and profits and power, not just as buzzwords, but as a blueprint. So, search for Women with Purpose, Power, and Profits on Facebook, or you can use the links that you will find in the show notes. I can't wait to support you there. If you want more information about me, go to my website, subscribe to my YouTube, go to all the socials. Y'all, I'm all over the place. You can find me, Dr. Melissa, the Purpose Prophetess. Okay? So until next time, join me when we'll keep going deeper into the strategies and mindset shifts needed to build a purpose-driven life. Remember, you are powerful and you are purposeful. I believe in you, and I cannot wait to see and hear about the incredible things that you are going to achieve. So until next time, my soulmates, keep standing up, keep standing out, and yes, keep standing on business. Bye for now.